Good evening, fellow Toastmasters, many guests, and viewers at home. Dennis is our president, and he has moved rapidly through his Confident Communicators Manual and is now ready for speech number 10. Is that correct, Dennis?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, okay, so big moment for him. Dennis comes to us from North Dakota, though he claims to be, what, half Turkish?
Yeah. Oh, a lot of things.
And a lot of other things. And half several things. And he works for Ideal Energy, and they hosted us last week for our meeting, which was interesting. His objectives tonight are to inspire the audience by appealing to noble motives and challenging the audience to achieve a higher level of beliefs or achievement, to appeal to the audience's needs and emotions using stories, anecdotes, and quotes to add drama, and to avoid using notes. Mr. Timer, I think I aired in the agenda, he's speaking 8 to 10 minutes, right, Dennis?
Good.
Well, that's what it says.
Oh, okay.
Would you like to speak?
I mean, I was planning 5 to 7, but we could do 6 to 8.
7, 6 to 8.
6 to 8. Good compromise.
Okay.
That's fine.
Okay. Please welcome Dennis. Languages for Life.
Yeah. Fellow Toastmasters, honored guests, and viewers at home. It was the spring of 2013. I was on the side of the road in Waco, Texas, of all places, picking up garbage with this fine young lady right next to me who asked me a question. So, what part of Brazil are you from? I said, actually, I'm not from Brazil at all. I'm from Fargo, North Dakota. I thought, wow, that would totally be a buzzkiller. Not exotic. But it worked out. I met my fiancée when she asked me some funny questions. She knew. I went to Brazil as an exchange student. She knew. I love playing soccer, also known as futebol over there. And I love just a lot of things about the culture. And I had a buddy on my bus who was had also done the same exchange program. Next up is December of 2015. The boss of the boss, the CEO of the world's largest meatpacking company, JBS, is in the room greeting a lot of fellow trainees of the company I was with at the time. I was able to greet him in both English and in Portuguese. He remembers me, and I'm very thankful for that moment. But I'm also very thankful for the exchange program that United States and Brazil have collaborated to get together on doing. Fast forward to this summer, 2017. I'm doing my favorite pastime. I'm playing some futebol. I'm playing soccer in Dexter Fields as usual on a Thursday evening. There's 2 guys. They've got a jersey on, a Brazilian jersey. And I asked them, "Hey man, are you from Brazil?" They say, "Yeah." Of course. And I said, "Awesome. So you're coming over for churrasco, man, for some barbecue this weekend?" They said, "Yeah." So a couple of our buddies and Will Burns, they came on over. We enjoyed some good stuff. So made some good Brazilian food, which my fiancée has done very well to master. Myself, not so much, but that's okay. She's my better half. What do all these things have in common, folks? Learning a new language opens up a whole new world. It is extremely beneficial to all of you, to everybody. Regardless of whether you have 1 minute a day or you have 1 hour a day. There is nothing easier today, with Google Translate even, than to be constantly learning a new language or improving your vocabulary in a new language. There are so many benefits. Today, though, I will inspire you about doing so because there are so many mental benefits, there are social benefits, and there's just the fact that all of us love to travel as human beings. And I know you all do. Let's get to something that we all have. We all have a brain here, right? So we all have this thing right here, the brain. Mentally, there are so many benefits to learning a new language and having languages for life be a commitment of yours. First of all, neuroplasticity is a topic that has came up very often in a lot of modern neuroscience. Improving your infrastructure of your neural highways for being able to make quick connections. That means you need to be learning new things all the time. Even if you're at a job that you're comfortable with. Even if you feel like you're comfortable with your life. You always need to be learning something new. The more you learn, the more challenging it is, the better and better those highways are going to get. Learning a new language, all research suggests, is one of the best ways to constantly improve that highway within your brain. In addition to this, Alzheimer's is a terrible disease. Nobody here wants. And many of us know someone who has suffered from it. Learning a new language is one of the best ways to reduce your risk of getting Alzheimer's by 50% for sure. Many studies suggest this as well. In addition to this, there are so many other mental benefits for your brain. There are so many of them. And not only are we concerned with our mental growth within ourselves, we are concerned naturally as human beings, and we love to elicit. We like to elicit great reactions from many people and impress them, as I attempted to impress you all with my use of word, which was okay, let's be honest. Socially, when you learn a new language, or when you are trying to learn a new language, you're meeting people from everywhere. You don't have to just stick to one new language. You can know a few words in different languages. The fact that you know a couple words shows those individuals much greater respect. When you're able to shake their hand, look them in the eye, and say hello in so many different ways, it's a new feeling that you get. In addition, as we know as human beings, we construct our reality from our social reality. Every language has its own version of slang. And having different ways of looking at things can really change your perspective when you're out problem solving in the workforce. There are so many more benefits socially that we can all relate to from learning a new language. Furthermore, how many of you here want to travel somewhere? Somewhere far away, an exotic beach, a jungle, anything. That's all of you. Or 95% of you. For those of you who couldn't muster the courage to raise your hand up. Okay? All of us as human beings have a travel bug inside of us. And I want you to open up that suitcase of desire to learn. There is no way to learn a language very proficiently or fluently than being in that country itself. When you learn a new language, you need to be in that country. It will force you to get out and go to that country that you want to learn the language of. Or you could be like me and happen to stumble upon a grant that you want to take advantage of, but you thoroughly enjoyed as a result and have great experiences that you'll remember for a lifetime. We all have that inside of us. I want you to quench your thirst to travel. Ladies and gentlemen, make language for life a commitment of yours. There are so many social benefits. There are mental benefits, and you can quench your thirst for travel. Just make language for life a commitment of yours today. Start today, every day. Thank you.
Mr. Timer, would you please give us 2 minutes to evaluate for those of you who are new or coming back? We have these little pages here. It doesn't have to be fancy. We just want to give our speakers some feedback. Okay. Very good. So our next evaluator is going to be Art Atkinson, and he is going to be reading the objectives for Fraser Jones' Competent Communicator Manual speech as well. So please help me warmly welcome up Art Atkinson.
In the technological environment of today, employers are having to face the whether to hire technical savvy employees or retrain their existing employees. Mr. Toastmaster, fellow members, guests, viewers at home, it is much better to retrain your existing employees. We can break it down into two parts. One, are there enough new employees available? And two, what is the cost of firing existing employees and retraining new employees? In a Glassdoor recruitment survey carried out by Harris Poll, the employers that took part in that survey, almost half of them said that there were not enough available qualified people for the positions they had open. So that is one for retraining your existing employees. Now, what about the cost? The Center for American Progress, in reviewing 11 published papers that covered 31 case studies, said that the cost of firing an employee and replacing him with a new employee is 21%, the average cost is 21% of the employee annual pay. PricewaterhouseCoopers, they also did a study, and they said that the cost to an average employer with average turnover rate is about 12% of the annual pre-tax income of the company. Now let's break down the cost. It can be broken down in direct cost and associative cost. What's the direct cost for firing an employee. The employee have to pay his personal his accrued personal time leave. The employee may have to pay overtime for the other employees to cover his work in the meantime. What's the direct cost of hiring a new employee? They might have to pay a sign-on bonus, relocation fee, let's move on to the associative cost. What's the associative cost for firing an employee? The employer may end up actually losing income because some clients may leave, other employees may also leave with that and go with that other one, and he so what's the associative cost for the new hire? One of the main associative costs is training. It might be formal training, on-the-job training, and also you have to pay for during the lost performance of while the employee is getting up to full speed. That would be a cost to the employer. No, you see, he get a new employee, he still have to train. So by just using that cost, he could have been way ahead with his existing employee. And the morale in the company would most likely be better. But you may say that the employee might be untrainable because of his experience. Well, let me just tell you about my experience. In 1988, a newspaper company in Dominica approached me to set up the computers and train the staff in using it. There was 2 computers, one to the typist. What was the tool before? A typewriter. The second computer was the layout person. What was the tool? A scissors, a glue pot and glue. But in 2 weeks, they were able to produce the entire paper on the computer well within time, with no real time. They were so efficient that the manager decided to produce 2 papers a week instead of 1. So it is much more efficient to retrain a worker than to employ a new one. Thank you.
Okay, Mr. Timer, would you please give us 2 minutes to evaluate Fraser's speech? All right. Mr. Timer, could you tell us, please, which of our speakers qualified?
I believe just the first speaker, Dennis, qualified. Yes, Dennis Gomez.
Okay.
So we don't need to vote.
Okay. Treasurer was a 5 to 7 and
Yes.
over 7.730.
7.5, yeah, it was.
Okay, this is good, let's check. All right, so we have, I don't know if we have our voter little strippies out. We could just be like mice and tear little pieces off of the program. That's always my way of being frugal with paper.
Table topics.
Here you go. Okay, so we're gonna be official.
Table topics.
Oh, well, oh, that's right. We're not gonna vote, but you're gonna have a little strip nonetheless. Because you'll probably need it, because not everyone will go over on our table topics and our evaluators. So hang on.
All right.
Okay. Good. All right, with that, I'd like to hand over our meeting to our general evaluator, Dan Craig, who will be overseeing our evaluation section of the meeting.
Thank you, Madam Toastmaster. Fellow Toastmasters, honored guests, viewers at home. Now's the next major section of our meeting. We've heard the prepared speeches, now we're going to hear evaluations. The speakers will hear feedback from their evaluators to help them improve for their future talks. I'm going to introduce the first evaluator. It will be Emery Styron, evaluating Dennis's talk.
Thank you, Mr. General Evaluator. Good evening again, fellow Toastmasters, guests, and viewers at home, especially Dennis. Dennis, thank you very much for reminding us of the benefits of learning other languages, experiencing other cultures. I'm going to go through the manual here. There's about 8 points that the manual asks us to cover. Was the speech topic relevant for the occasion selected? Dennis's job was to inspire us to move to a higher level, and he chose something he knows well, and that would help any of us if we will do that. And I suspect in this room most of us have. So that was a good choice. Did the speaker understand and express the feelings and needs of the audience? Very important in an inspirational speech that you connect with the audience. I think he did. He talked about the mental and social benefits of learning a language. You need an emotional, more of an emotional than a logical connection in an inspirational speech. So something like, be your best self. Learn a language today. Mr. General Wright.
Thank you, Emery. Now for our second evaluator, we're going to hear from Art Atkinson. He's going to evaluate Fraser's talk. Welcome, Art. Thank you, Art. Now we've heard prepared speeches, we've heard evaluations. Our next major section of our meeting tonight is table topics. Table topics is impromptu speaking. It's the chance to come up and be given a topic without any advance notice. It works out your brain in a different way, and it's a good thing to practice. Our guests tonight are all welcome to take part in table topics. Members, if you don't have a role, then grab your chance too. We might want to start with a member just as an illustration, or a former member who would surely remember how it works. Our table topics master is going to lead us through it. It's Susanna McCann. Please welcome.
Thank you, David.
Welcome Toastmasters and guests for this fun and challenging part of our meeting. The topic or the theme for this evening is real life heroes. And the quote that goes along with that is, "A hero is someone who, in spite of weakness, doubt, or not always knowing the answers, goes ahead and overcomes anyway," by Christopher Reeve. So I have several topics on this topic, several topics in this theme of heroism. Who would like to go first? All right. Great, come on. Thank you.
Nelson.
Nelson, okay. I would like to also mention that people doing table topics talks can start with about 30 minutes to sort of gather your thoughts. 30 seconds, sorry. To consider what you're going to say and gather your thoughts. Okay. Who comes to mind now as your favorite real life hero and why?
Thank you.
Okay.
Welcome Toastmasters, honored guests, and viewers at home. Heroes. Growing up, a hero to me was Ninja Turtles. They were cool. They were saving the day. Or Superman, Wolverine, Batman. These were heroes growing up. Now that I'm older, I see heroes in a very different way. There are heroes everywhere among us. And it's the little things, for me, that make a big difference in some way. Sometimes unnoticed, sometimes it's great and grand. It might be the receptionist that greet you and ask you, "Are you having a good day?" with a big smile. And you say, "No, not really." But she's smiling and she is just giving so much wonderful feelings. And then you feel actually better. That's a hero for me. Or it might be a friend that I see at Hy-Vee. I'm going to buy some milk. And I'm having a horrible day and I'm dragging my feet. Just kind of going to buy some milk. And then I see my friend Prana. "Hello, Prana. Nice to meet you." And he is just full of life and love, and he makes me feel good. Well, he's my hero for that day. And there are many heroes everywhere. Many heroes that are nearby that you might not even notice, that are so cheerful and helpful, and they make a big difference in making you feel a lot happier, a lot more content and appreciative of your life. And I think those heroes need to be appreciated every day. Thank you very much.
Who's our next table topic speaker? Okay, very good. Okay. Miranda, yes. All right, a new member, right?
Yes, tonight will
Yeah,
be the
new
sign-up
member.
night.
All
Yes.
right. Okay, Miranda. It's been said that each of us is the hero of our own life's journey.
Yes.
Could you reflect on that?
Absolutely.
Let us know
Thank
your
you.
thoughts.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Toastmasters, viewers at home, and guests. NaNoWriMo. NaNoWriMo, National Novel Writing Month. Every November, since I was 16 years old, I've participated in the 30-day mad dash to write 50,000 words for National Novel Writing Month. Now, starting out at 16, it's a challenge. You and your friends gather at great places and you write stories together and, you know, between cups of coffee, well, how many words did you write? Oh, 500 or 300 or anything to achieve that ever-growing bar graph up to 50,000 words in 30 days. 16 years later, I want to tell you that I accidentally became a superhero. I learned that I have the ability in some small way to write my own destiny. The stories that I've written year after year, after November, they somehow manifest. Somehow the characters that I create become my friends. The developmental areas and settings become places that I've traveled to. The plot lines have become my battle wounds. We decide what happens to us, and we decide how to carry ourselves in our own stories. We ultimately must be our own heroes. And so keep writing or living yourself into your own heroic battles. Thank you.
All right, who's next? Okay, excellent.
Stacy?
Stacy, great. Okay, Stacy. Some heroes are more famous and obvious, or maybe heroes on a social or broader level. Some are sort of quiet and behind the scenes. Who's your favorite contemporary hero now in our world situation, and why?
For me, it's hard to find heroes out there now. But, you know, I think I've given up on the news. I've given up on the outside world. Just want to concentrate on community. And I see, like Nelson, like the lady with the blue-green hair, I see that we're our own heroes, and I see other people being heroes every day. And I think the heroes to me now are people that say, well, we're not going to wait around for other people to do things or other people to save us. We're just going to step up and do what needs to be done. So Dee Sandquist is my hero because she heads the hunger dialogue in Fairfield. I have a friend, Joy, who's my hero because she makes herself useful and brings joy, literally, to wherever she goes. My neighbor Lynn is my hero because instead of complaining about something, she did something and started a whole string.
Okay. As people finish gathering up the ballots, I'd like to invite our table topics evaluator for this evening, Hudaifa, to evaluate the table topics.
Thank you.
Fellow Toastmasters, our guests and viewers at home. Today we have three speakers, or three table topic speakers. First one was Nelson. I liked your answer. You were very enthusiastic. And your question was about your favorite or your favorite hero. And you have got 3 or 4. I liked the way you chose your heroes from the childhood from Superman and Batman until Ryan. You didn't mention maybe Incredibles, but yeah, that was great. And you were able to fill 2 minutes or 1.5 minutes exactly. Thank you. And for Marinda, I didn't understand the whole thing, but you really wrote 50,000 words within 30 months? 30 days?
Every year.
Oh, every year. So you wrote about million or something? Yeah, that's great. I don't know if you know that the English language has only 400,000 words, so you repeated the English language 3 times. So that's great. Yeah, you are really a hero, as you consider yourself. This is, yeah, you are proud of yourself, and we are proud of you also. And for Stacy, I'm sorry to tell you that this is the reality. The world is, not everyone is decent, but this is the real. Yeah, you were able to count some of the heroes in your life or in your community instead of counting some of the world heroes, but our community heroes are our world's heroes because it's our small world. In this situation, in this current life or world, we are all trying to be heroes and to push other peoples to do so. For suggestions, for Nelson, actually you are a speaker better than me, but this is I have to say something. It's better to focus on one thing rather than maybe focus in several, so we can focus in one direction. And for Marinda, I don't know if I didn't understand the whole question exactly, but I'm not sure if it's 100% related to the question, the answer. And for you, the life is still, even if it's not that bad, but we still fight for having better life for, not for us, for our children. I'm not too old, but for my children. Thank you, everyone.